Okay.
Okay.
Well, you're super excited about this episode, so you want to start us off?
Oh man, I loved it. I loved it. Uh,
I loved all the little subtleties.
Me too.
The green dress,
This whole
setting up the greens versus the blacks.
this whole episode was about subtle little hints for everything.
Mm-hmm.
It was all about looks and expressions and characters kind of giving each other a thing. Like, the whole episode. It wasn't about the wedding. It was about everything that all the characters were doing with each other underneath the surface of the celebration. Just going to throw it out here real quick. One of my favorite things, it was such a small thing, but I really loved it, was the fact that the Royces were all wearing the bronze armor with the runes kind of like carved in to all the armor.
Mm-hmm.
I just really love that little touch that they were all wearing that bronze ancient armor of the Vale Knights. I just thought that was really awesome.
Speaking of the Vale
Love that
Knights,
little touch.
that opening was intense.
Jeez,
you have
yeah.
Daemon just show up out of nowhere looking like the Grim Reaper.
Yeah.
Think he planned that to look like an accident? Like, what do you think his plan was? Think he was just gonna kill her and feed her to
Caraxes?
Yeah. Burn the body.
I feel like if
No
he was gonna
evidence.
kill her and feed her to Caraxes, someone would tell on him.
There's no evidence. She just disappears.
Yeah, but she was also with someone, hunting with someone. That person would have been like, yo, where'd she go?
Yeah, and the horse would have came back. She wouldn't have.
Maybe.
What happened? Maybe she fell in the sea. Maybe she was eaten by a shadow cat. We don't know.
That's true. Shadow cats are all over the Vale.
Exactly. That's where we first hear about them, and well, I guess
The first book, yeah. We
Tyrion
hear about him.
gets his shadow cat skin cloak.
That's true. The big bummer about all of that was got to see Daemon looking beautiful as always. Got to see her, what does he call her? The bronze bitch.
Yeah.
And you get to see her for 5 minutes, and she's fucking cool as shit. She seems awesome. And then she's just fucking dead in 5 minutes, and it's like,
She reminds me
she
of
sounded
that
like
young
she could have been
Mormont.
cool. Yeah. She seemed awesome. And that was it.
Well, we're just gonna have to take Damon's word for it and assume that she was in fact not awesome. Did he just knock over? Yeah, he did.
Yeah, he did.
Put that back there for
I'm going to.
his little cardboard bed.
He's being a baby about it. I mean, maybe she was a terrible person. We don't know. She just seemed like a badass, but maybe she was a dickhead. We don't know.
Yeah. She could have been a dickhead and a badass.
Although
Damon's a dickhead and a badass.
Yeah, I was gonna say, given the track record, Daemon is also kind of a douchebag and also a badass.
He is an extreme douchebag.
He's. I don't know who I told. I think I told someone at work the other day. I said Daemon Targaryen is probably one of the most toxic human beings I have ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
He is so horrible. He's so awful.
I really don't know how him and Viserys haven't killed one another at this point.
You mean how Daemon hasn't killed Viserys? Because Viserys is kind of like...
But Viserys has a King's Guard.
He does, but Viserys is also just very much like a soft teddy bear who just wants to have fun in playtimes.
Who has a burnt hot dog for an arm.
Oh my god, I know.
Leaking ketchup out of his nose.
Yes. Viserys not doing too good, is he?
That arm scene was disgusting.
It was.
That
It was
creeped
not
me
pleasant.
out more than, like, the one Valerion's lover getting his face bashed in. I've noticed 99% of the gore so far that they've shown, besides, the spray of blood here and there,
Yeah.
has been like someone's face just getting smashed in. It's like they're trying to relive those good moments of the Mountain versus the Viper. Yeah, that whole scene, that made me feel so uneasy.
That was a great scene. That was so well directed. The fight between the Mountain and oh my god, what the hell is his name? Oberyn Martell.
Yeah.
Oberyn.
It was cool to see a new castle too.
Oh my god, I love Driftmark.
Mm-hmm.
I loved it. I loved all the decor. I loved everything about being able to go inside of Driftmark and seeing it. I loved how they aged up Corlys and Rhaenys.
Mm-hmm.
They looked the same, but they still looked a little older. Viserys has got like TB. He's totally got TB. He's coughing up blood. The man's got TB.
Yeah, I know Viserys lives to be old. Oh, by the way, hello, Ren. How's it going tonight? I don't know why I don't remember him being so sickly in the book.
I think the reason why they're doing it this way is because Viserys in Fire and Blood is very much Bobby B. He's pretty much Bobby B. He is just drinking and partying and just living it up the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
And because we got that with Game of Thrones, I think they're just trying to do something a little bit different with him.
Oh, Bobby Robert.
Yeah.
Okay. I know who you meant.
So I think that's why they're portraying him as getting sicker and older and this and that. And I think the whole
No, I get it. I just don't know why you're making him seem so deathly ill all the time. That part is just kind of taking it away from me. His arm looks like the burnt hot dog. I was like, wait, does he lose his arm? I don't remember that in the book, but maybe they're going for something. Maybe this is how he dies.
I think they're
now
also...
he's coughing up blood, but we saw in the preview for the next episode, nope, he's going to live to the ripe old age of baldness.
I think they're
At
also...
least another decade has passed, so he's 60-something.
I think they're also trying to just reiterate with all of that all of his injuries and all of his illness are a manifestation of the throne and power and how ill-suited he is for all of it, and how the power and being the king is literally killing him. And it's literally rotting him. Just all of his
that's
decisions.
Fine. All the little nicks and cuts and how he's losing his fingers, how his cousin, went to go shake his hand and froze for a minute because he's missing 3 fingers now.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was good enough. I don't know. I just feel like every scene he had some new illness and they're trying to make you think that he's gonna die. Then the next scene he's okay. Next scene after that he's dying again. Next scene he's okay.
The snot rag. Yes,
Yeah,
we finished the episode. Spoilers are okay.
Yep, spoilers all good.
I think it's very much just to be a visual of how he is a physical manifestation of how all the decisions that he's making and all of the decisions of his successors are rotting the realm from the inside out, just like he is literally rotting from the inside out. And I think it's just getting worse and worse and worse. The whole rotted arm thing, it's it was his fingers and he had a cut, and now it's just continuing to just grow up his entire body. Just like how every decision...
I know, but then it's the next scene, his arm's fine and he's using it no problem. After we see literal rot just rolling up his arm.
They put the leeches on him, and Maester Mello said the leeches, they work. It's fine. He's good.
Freaking magic leeches, man. Suction of the gods.
Yeah, the rat drinking the blood at the end was such a good image. I really
I've been
enjoyed
trying
that.
to like piece together the rats because it's been like a whole imagery thing throughout. Every episode has its rat moment.
I think maybe I'm
And
wrong.
like I thought it was like all the scheming and everything going on in the background. But I feel like this episode didn't have as much of that.
I think
Like there were hints of it and stuff, but I don't know.
so. I'm just gonna throw it out here. Spot immediate idea. I don't know if this is solid or what, but
Well, outside Damon was scheming this whole episode.
Damon was hot this whole episode. I don't know what you were talking about. I think the whole rats thing is a consistent metaphor for how everyone around the king or around the throne are feeding off of the throne for their own well-being, and it is creating this corruption and rot that is just growing and growing. And every episode you're going to see a rat somewhere in there to demonstrate that you've got all this power at this point in the realm's history. The Targaryens are at their most powerful. They are at their most wealthy. This is the zenith of their rule. So they're kind of just living the high life. And I think all the rats just manifest everyone coming to feed off of that and corrupt it and just suck whatever they can out of it. So you have all of this rat imagery in every episode just coming to like feed on the bloat of the Targaryen rule and wealth and this and that. I think that's what it is.
Shows me they need to get a cat.
I'm always an advocate of getting a cat. Where's Sir Pounce? They need Sir Pounce.
Yeah, getting the horse to kill his what? That's we were actually talking about that first thing. I wonder if he like planned that to happen or how he was gonna have that whole thing go down. I was hypothesizing that he was just gonna like feed her to Caraxes.
I was literally, I just had the thought of Daemon Targaryen as Bob Ross. He's painting the horse falling on her, and he just goes, "It's just a happy little accident. It's okay."
Daemon Targaryen still be hot with a perm.
Daemon Targaryen would be hot in anything.
Well, I guess well, no. You said you weren't really feeling Matt Smith, but Daemon.
Matt Smith as Daemon is the hottest thing I've ever seen in my life. Okay, maybe not the hottest thing. All right, maybe top 10 hottest things I've ever seen in my life. I've got a top 10 hottest things. He's up there. He's in the top 10.
You would like bleach blonde villains.
That's not
Lucius Malfoy.
He is not my favorite. He's not in my top 10.
Really?
No, Lucius Malfoy is not in my top 10. However, Daemon Targaryen sitting at that table making those faces. Dear Jesus, I thought I was going to melt into a puddle on the couch. Oh my god. Oh my god.
And who's the new Hand of the King? I can't remember his name.
Lord,
what house he's from.
Oh my god, I can't remember either. I should know, but I can't remember.
Isn't he a Tarly or...
No, he's like, oh my god, I can't remember. But he's actually a decent Hand of the King. Like, I think he's actually like doing a good job.
But I loved him in the background when Daemon tells Royce to F off. And he just, like, grabs his cup and just, like, looks the other way, like, sheesh!
Yeah.
Takes a drink. Checkmate, bud.
Lionel Strong. Okay, which is very significant, actually. We didn't even talk about the Strongs at all during this whole like saga. Dan, why do you want to hate Daemon Targaryen? I want to know. Why do you not like him? I have to know, Dan. Because I saw your comment earlier today where Dan said that he is starting to vibe with me and feel me on Rings of Power. And he said he watched the latest episode and he's starting to agree with me. So I'm pretty excited to watch the next episode of Rings of Power because he's saying he's siding with me. But I want to know.
This is like mid-season, so at this point, this is where I'm going to make my decision, really.
When we watch the episode tomorrow?
Because I've been being optimistic, sticking with it, giving them a chance to build up the story.
I feel like I've been very optimistic, given...
You stop.
I've been very positive.
Settle down.
We won't talk about Rings of Power. You just don't think Matt Smith fits? Oh, Dan, you are hurting me in my soul. That hurts. He is the perfect Daemon Targaryen. You stop it right now. Let's get back to Lionel Strong for a second. We don't need to talk about Rings of Power.
Okay, and then we'll come back to actors and actresses.
We haven't watched it yet. We're gonna watch that tomorrow. We'll talk about Rings of Power tomorrow. So Lionel Strong is now the Hand of the King, and then we have Cripplefoots there, fucking gossip pants, telling the queen mad shit, stirring the pot. Cripplefoot, just like
that's the true little finger of this.
He's like stirring the pot. He is also a strong, and so is the one guy who was dancing with Princess Rhaenyra until Daemon like interrupted them.
Yeah, I knew that.
They like have some vibes.
Well, yeah. Did you see him? You know, he told him to get in there.
And if you've read the book, that strong character that she was dancing with, he'll kind of come up again. But so will Hobblefoot there. I can't remember his name. Pot stirrer, shit stirrer, who I don't like because
what the stick's for.
Yeah, he's just
it's a shit stick.
It's a shit stick because he's spilling the tea everywhere, and he's got the queen all riled up now.
Spilling the tea about the tea. The plan tea.
He's got her all riled up over Melos and the tea and everything else, and now the queen is like, So now you're seeing this little bit of rivalry start, where Queen Alicent is like, Rhaenyra has got like no idea. She got no clue, but Alicent is like, okay,
And yes, Dan, Kristen, what the fuck? The man just got a get out of jail free card from Alicent. Like,
he did.
Yeah, I fucked the princess. What of it? Nothing, you're good. Carry on.
Yeah.
There. You're good. Just this.
I think what they've done with Kristen Cole is very interesting because at the very beginning of the episode, he's like, run away with me, marry me, let's escape, let's go do this. Because in those earlier episodes, she was like confiding in him and being like, oh, you know, I don't like the responsibility of who I am. I just want to be free to make my own choice. And he's literally offering you what you're asking for, freedom, and to kind of run away from everything that you're freaking out about. And then she turns around and says, no, I think I'm going to marry this dude anyway.
Yeah. Because she had a great plan if Kristen didn't fuck it up. They both agreed, like, we're just going to put on a show. Basically like Marjorie and Renly, you know?
Yeah.
We're going to put on a show, but what happens behind the king's doors stays behind the king's doors.
But I think she was betting on Kristen being okay with that, and I think Kristen would rather forsake his vows and run away with her than have to constantly wear that cloak and betray his vows. Like,
no, I know.
I think he's a lot more ideological.
But I also was just like, he doesn't have to keep betraying his vows either. Could've
No,
just been
he
like-
doesn't. But I think he's...
And he definitely didn't have to, like, bash that dude's face in.
No, he didn't.
But we didn't have any boobs in this episode, so we had to make up with some gore.
We did. That dude's face got turned into a pepperoni pizza.
Punch lasagna.
Yeah. And which I thought was very interesting. I loved that. Number one. Okay. Spartacus.
And yes,
I remember
yes,
about
Dan,
Spartacus.
the queen's green dress.
Yes.
Was a perfect.
The fact that she wore a green dress was very appropriate. They kind of overdid it a little bit when they said, do you know what the High Tower's color is when they call their banners? They wear green.
Mm.
That was a little overdone. I would have liked to have just had her wear the green dress and nothing else be said about it. Because then you'd know. But not everyone.
Yeah, you're
is-
gonna learn what the green represents in the next episode, so they definitely could have just kind of kept that hush hush.
They could have. They overdid it a little bit, but I did think it was a
Especially
nice
when
touch
this
to have
episode
her
was
wear.
so great with the show Don't Tell.
It was. Everything in this episode was said by expressions and how the characters were just looking at each other. You could tell so much just based... There was like 20 minutes of just dancing and facial expressions where there was no dialogue needed, where you could just tell based on the dancing and the expressions between all the characters that you knew exactly what was going on. And it was so good.
Yeah,
So well done.
that's true, Dan. But the green is actually going to be like a huge part of the story.
It is, yeah.
So it's like they could have just kind of left it and had that little thing for like the book readers where it's like, oh, because next episode you are definitely going to learn what the green represents and
Yeah.
also what another color represents.
Yeah. Yep. Okay. So have any of you seen... I feel like this is a good time to talk about it because we're talking about it. Have any of you ever seen the movie Spartacus with Kirk Douglas directed?
Oh, the movie?
The
Spartacus?
movie.
No.
The movie Spartacus.
Saw
with-
the show. That was great.
It's Kirk Douglas and Laurence Olivier, and it's directed by Stanley Kubrick. Have any of you ever seen Spartacus? Please let me know. Because I feel like I'm going to be reaching hard. If Melanie Lee was here, she would probably know. She's probably seen Spartacus.
I was gonna say yeah.
Okay. Just FYI. Spartacus is probably in one of... It's a contender for top 10 favorite movies of all time.
Right.
Spartacus is so good. So there's a scene in Spartacus where Laurence Olivier, who plays Crassus, is talking to, I believe it's Antoninus. And they're in this, like, bath. And he's talking to this guy, and he's asking him if he likes, I think it's snails or oysters. And he's talking about which
I'm
one
gonna
he...
say oysters because there's usually like
a thing.
yeah.
I think it's snails is the other one. And he talks about what he prefers, if he prefers one or the other. And he's like, well, I like both. What do you like? And the guy, Antoninus, who is his slave, kind of has to go with it. But it's very much this euphemism of, do you like men or do you like women or do you like both? I like both. I'm willing to go either way. And this scene with Laenor and Rhaenyra very much was like a Spartacus moment where she's like, well, do you like duck or do you like goose? I think goose is too greasy. I'm not into that. And it's very much like a callback to Spartacus with this whole using the subtext of something else to have that conversation of, well, are you gay? Are you bi? Do you like this? Do you like that? So that Laenor can kind of express who he is without having to come out and say it. And then she's just like, yo, dude, whatever. Like, I don't care. This marriage is a political convenience. Let's just say the vows and do whatever, and then once we're married, as long as we have a baby, like, you do you, I'll do me. But that just whole conversation with her having about the duck and the geese just reminded me very much of that conversation in Spartacus. It was very much exactly the same thing.
I do love the in the preview for the next episode, there calls into question who the father is of the children. So,
and
who could it be?
If I talk about it, then I'll be talking about books and potential spoilers.
All right, so don't. Let's
so
just
I
leave it
won't
as a
go
mystery.
there.
I just think it's something that we should be thinking about. Who could it possibly be?
The father
It's a
of
mystery.
Rhaenyra's children.
Oh, you didn't watch the preview?
Oh.
Okay. I would watch the preview. This is the turning point, actually. So, it's not a spoiler. This was actually the last episode where we will see Rhaenyra and Alicent as young. So those two actresses are now gone. We're going to get a new Rhaenyra and Alicent.
We'll get the new actresses in the next episode.
And gotta just give them props because they were fantastic as the characters.
Yeah, I love both of them.
Considering
so
it was both of their like first big roles off of like stage plays.
They were both so good.
Yeah.
I really liked, not only did they have that goose duck conversation, but then the man who's Laenor's lover then walks up to Kristen Cole. Number one, Kristen Cole has the worst poker face because that dude totally figured it out.
Yeah.
Number one. Number two, he then walks up to him and he's like, dude, let me level with you. Let's just figure this out. You do you, I'll do me. We'll protect them both. It'll all be good. Let's do this like secretive thing. And Kristen Cole is like, I'm gonna turn your face into lasagna. That's my choice. Okay then. Okay, that's your decision? Alright. I get the whole romanticness of let's just run away together and blah 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 blah. But Rhaenyra is very much controlled by the idea of being the queen and ruling the realm. She is enamored with that.
Mm-hmm.
She is seduced. She is seduced by the idea of being the queen. She is bought into it hook, line, and sinker, and she's like, nah. And I do not think she loves Kristen Cole, but Kristen Cole is being portrayed as like he really wants to be with her, and she has just rejected him. And he is angry, and he is bitter, and then he kills that dude, and then Alicent comes in, and she's like, I forgive you. It is all okay.
That's what I mean. He got like 2 get out of jail free cards.
So I could see him doing a 180 and saying, fuck you, Rhaenyra. I'm gonna hang out over here with Alicent. Time will tell. But I think that's what they're setting up for.
Yeah.
I thought Alicent was very well acted throughout this whole thing where she's just like, oh, the moon tea. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Blah, blah, blah. And she's got another baby.
I'm pretty sure that's the same baby.
Is that the same baby?
Yeah.
Maybe.
I mean, I think by the time next episode comes around, she's supposed to have 3 children. Aegon, 1, and then like a girl. She has a daughter. I know that.
Because the last episode, it was a daughter
Yeah.
in the last
Oh,
episode.
it was? Okay.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So it's at least 3, maybe 4.
I don't think that much time has skipped between last episode and this episode because they got married. I also want to throw some shout outs out to real medieval style wedding and dancing and stuff. It really looked very medieval and very realistic. The whole wedding setup looked great. With the feast and all the food and like the dim lighting, all the candles, and have it being very heady and kind of smoky and everything. It really had this
Series.
real medieval gritty look to it that I really enjoyed.
Yeah, it did. Viserys just staring at Rhaenyra and like chopping up that quail.
Yeah, he was.
When Daemon was going over to her,
Yes.
just like, what?
What are they
Yes,
doing?
I'm fine. Queen's just looking over. I'm like, what? It's dead. Stop it.
Damon is in this episode for what? 5 minutes? Maybe?
Yes, Dan. That was the same girl that he rejected.
Yes, that is the same girl. That's Lena.
Yeah. But the more time has passed since then because we haven't seen her for like 3 episodes now.
Right, and Lenor is like grown up now, and the last time we saw him, he was kind of like a little kid.
Yeah.
At the tourney. I loved Damon dancing with her and being like, is this really what you want? Are you sure this is what you want? And she's like,
Hey.
well, take me then. And he's just like, I tried last episode and...
No, he didn't. He left her in a brothel.
He tried.
He left her in a brothel.
I think he really did try.
He left her.
He left her in a brothel, but he set up a situation in which he thought that Viserys would be like, yeah, okay. I really think that was his whole...
He could have just done it and would have been more effective, probably.
Yeah, but I think there is genuine affection there. I don't think he really would have wanted to ruin her in that way.
I mean, that's fair.
Like, he kept looking at her, and she was just like...
Yeah, but is he looking at her like, I love her, or could be my throne?
That's the question, isn't it?
Mm.
I like to think that there is genuine affection there. I do think he genuinely does like her, but I think he also very much does want the throne. I think it's both. I don't think he loves her.
You can't have both. Remember, love is the death of duty.
All right, Aemon, Jon Snow,
Martin, everyone.
But I do think that whole interaction was very much there to kind of keep that tension there, to remind you, like, yo, these two are into each other.
I think it was there to show that it wasn't Daemon just trying to pull some shit.
Yeah, because he came right back and he was like, And she's just like, well, if you want me, come and claim me. And he was just like, ooh, that's rough. I just bashed my wife's head in with a rock. I don't
really
know about
not a good
that.
time
Now's
for
not a
me.
good time.
Got funeral
but-
possessions.
At the same time, though, he also started dancing with Lena Valerian.
Mm.
And that whole relationship kind of started. That was a little seed planted. Like, maybe she's going to be like, ooh, I want a little piece of that Targaryen.
He's just putting out feelers everywhere, you know?
Yeah. Why not? I mean, because if Rhaenyra, she's married to Laenor, now Daemon can't have her. Unless,
That
of course,
incest is part of the world. That's what they want to remind. I mean, every relationship so far in this show has been incest. Even Valerian, what's his first name? I can't remember.
Corlys?
Yeah, the dude she's marrying.
Oh, Laenor.
Laenor.
Yeah, he's like her cousin.
He's her cousin. Yeah.
Yeah. Targaryens equal incest. It just is the way it is. But it very directly...
So does Lannister.
It very directly reflects European history. Everyone in the European royal family from England, France, Germany, all across Europe, they were all related to each other and they all married each other. And I think it's very funny when the people who like write the reviews of the episodes, they talk about, oh, we're going the full Targaryen, we're going through incest, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, dude, have you ever read any European history? This is like par for the course. This is normal. I feel like half the people who watch this show and see all the incest going on, they don't know anything about European history. Like I'm watching this like, yeah, that seems right. Like that's what they did. It's very much reflective of European history because that's what Martin is basing everything off of.
Right. And I mean, have you read Game of Thrones? I mean, hey, at least they're not brother and sister.
Right. Do you know Cersei and Jaime? Have you met them before?
Mm-hmm.
Not only are they brother and sister, but they're twins. They look exactly alike. Just saying.
Might be some narcissism there, just saying.
Maybe a little bit. Also, I want to give a shout out to the Lannisters in this episode. They're fucking great every time they show up. They make me laugh.
I love the Lannister and Viserys like interaction with Rhaenyra there. After he tells the joke, it's just like, The
Lannisters in this show are so good. They're so great. I love... Every time I see the two of them show up, I'm like, oh, I gotta pay attention. I gotta see what the Lannisters are gonna do. What's he gonna be disgusted by in this episode? Because he always makes that face.
Right.
It's so great. So good.
The person in front of him just let rip.
And then we also see Hobart Hightower.
Hobart Hightower.
Tell the queen, like, yo, whatever you do, Old Town's behind you, girl. We got you. Okay. Where's Otto? What is Otto doing? It just makes me like, what's he doing right now? He didn't show up at the wedding. What's he doing?
Well, he was banished. He couldn't.
I know, but what's he doing?
And he's not blood related to the king, so he would have just been killed on the spot.
He is blood related to the king, though.
But not brother.
He's Aegon's grandpa.
He's not blood related to the king. He's blood related to the false heir.
Alright, fair enough. Not much dignity to these Lannisters, which I like. There's never been any dignity to the Lannisters.
But there's a whole lot of ego to fill up that space.
That's right. The Lannisters do not have any dignity. That is all for the Starks. Speaking of Starks... We need
to see some more Starks.
Speaking of Starks, we should get a Stark at some point in this episode, and that Stark is one of my favorite characters in Fire and Blood.
Is it a Brandon? That's a Brandon.
No, he's not a Brandon.
Rickard.
No.
Eddard.
No.
Rob.
No.
That's like all the Stark names.
No, his name... It's even better. His name is Cregan Stark.
Oh.
Cregan Stark. One of my favorite characters. Cannot wait to see that dude show up. He's awesome. Coming from a girl who is all about the Targaryens and the Lannisters, to be ride or die for a Stark, I'm just saying that's significant.
That is.
Not that I don't like I like the Starks, but they were never like, yeah, those are my dudes. All about them. Nah. They've never been my...
Really? I haven't like Robb Stark?
Nah.
Arya?
I mean, I like her.
You gotta like Arya.
I do like Arya.
And honestly, by the end, Sansa.
Yeah. By the time I finished book 5, I did really like Sansa a lot more.
Sansa has one of the best story arcs in the entire series.
Yeah, by the time I got that far, I was much more into Sansa. But like, I don't know, when I read the books, my favorite characters are not the Starks. Never have been. Sorry.
Well, I guess we'll get to see in the next episode why.
But I really in Fire and Blood,
Can't even finish my sentence without yawning right now.
I really do like Cregan Stark in Fire and Blood. Like, a lot. He's fucking awesome.
Well, that's about all I get. Wait, what?
The main timeline Lannisters are all prideful in their appearance. These aren't. That's what I mean. I don't know. I think they're prideful in their appearance. The Lannisters in this show.
Yeah, I think so.
They're prideful.
Think of the spear. You can use my spear, the one I got you.
The
one that was forged at the Casterly Rock Forge.
With all the Casterly Rock gold, the mountains of gold that we have in our mountain that Casterly Rock is built on top of, all that gold. Yeah.
Hey, are you leaving, Your Grace? Please, don't forget your spear that I made for you at Casterly Rock. I think there's definitely some pride there.
Oh, yeah. Which is great. The lion sigil and everything, it's great.
Do I count myself Stark or Baratheon? Stark. I mean...
You're not you're not a Baratheon.
I guess Stannis is pretty awesome, too. I was going to say,
yeah,
like, Robb is the only good Baratheon, but Stannis is pretty awesome. Renly is, too. I mean...
But you're not
we didn't
really...
get enough Renly.
You're not... I don't think you're really a Baratheon in nature, though. Because all the Baratheons are very extreme in one direction or the other.
That's true.
I don't think you're a Baratheon. What am I? Dan, where do I belong? What do you think?
Aaron.
You said that to be mean to me on purpose. You did that on purpose.
Maybe.
I do not belong in the Vale. I can't live there. I physically can't handle living there. No, that is not nice.
Probably like a Mormont or something.
Okay.
You're definitely very northern. But I can't put you as Stark because you're not Starkly.
Okay.
So this is the next one I thought of was the Mormonts. Bear Island, you know.
Why? Because I don't like people?
Well, it was either that or like the Night's Watch.
What? Wow! Why? What? What?
And I said Aaron because that's where all the shadow cats are.
But that is a scary place.
Shadow cats are also at the wall, beyond the wall.
Beyond the wall.
But
why would you want to send me to the two most terrifying places ever? The wall? Oh my god.
I said the Mormonts! Bear Island!
I can't go
Beautiful.
up. I can't go up the wall. I can't go to the Vale.
It's an island.
It's an island.
Your own personal island.
So I would be the Johnny Depp of Westeros?
Yeah. You know they're making a movie about the trial?
Oh my god, no, I didn't know that.
Yeah. I guess it's already out or something. Highgarden? I feel like I would really like to live at Highgarden.
You're a Tyrell.
You think so?
I don't think you're a Stark. I think you could be a Tyrell.
I'll take it.
Luxury, nice weather, always sunny, always nice, good food.
Mm.
That's you.
Yeah, I'm a Tyrell.
You are a knight of summer, sir.
That's right.
If I live at fucking Bear Island with Jorah,
Well, you certainly don't live in Dorne.
no, of course not. I would never live in Dorne. Are you kidding me? Ew. No. Gross. Although I would have more rights as a woman, which would be nice.
Mm-hmm.
But I couldn't handle it. Probably not.
Sand snakes. You'd have all the reptiles and snakes.
That's true. But there's probably camels.
What's the problem with camels?
It's scary when they do Happy Camel. Happy Camel is terrifying.
Yeah,
Really?
man,
Bear
there
Island?
really is.
You-
I guess it's on Tubi, that streaming service. It's free. The Johnny Depp trial.
You really think I would live on Bear Island?
It was the first thing that came to mind in the north.
God. Okay. What makes you so sure I would live in the north?
You hate the heat. You can't even stand the heat in the summers where we live. How are you going to be able to take the heat at like High Garden or in King's Landing when everyone piles down by the river because it's the only cool place?
First of all, I would not live in King's Landing ever for any reason, regardless of who my family is, because it is hot there and the smell of shit must be so intense. Never mind the heat, it must smell like shit constantly because it's so fucking hot. I'm not living there just on that principle. The shit.
Yeah,
smell.
but where else are you gonna get your bowl of brown?
I don't need any bowl of brown. I'm good.
You know, there's actually a recipe for bowl of brown.
I'm sure there is.
Should make it.
Is it fucking... Is there pigeons in it? Do we gotta
Yes,
fucking
actually,
kill a
there
pigeon?
is. Yes.
Yeah, I thought so.
There's like 5 different types of meat. I really don't know how it would turn out. Honestly.
Can't recall the name now. The place Arya goes off to. Bravos? Dan thinks I belong in Bravos.
Or maybe the Citadel.
Old Town?
Yeah.
I need to pretend to be a dude so I can be a maester.
Yeah. You can be the first female maester.
Like Sorella,
A maestress.
like one of the sand snakes.
Yeah.
Mm.
You'll be the world's first maestress.
I just want to ride dragons and eat cake, man. That's all I want in life.
I don't know.
That was a show reference. Just tying it back. Just bringing it back to the show. I just want to ride dragons and eat cake, man. I would, if I was a maester, I might end up verging into like Marwyn the Maester territory, which I don't know is good for anyone. But I probably would really enjoy being a maester, not gonna lie. Reading all those books, oh my god. All the knowledge, all the magic, all the science, oh my god. So many books, so many scrolls. Ooh.
Go to a shy. Maybe it's Harley. Yeah, maybe it's Harley.
I don't want to be a Tarly. Don't do that to me.
Why not?
They're horrible people. They're awful.
They're not that bad.
Randall is a dickhead. What are you talking about?
That's fair.
Randall is awful. And Sam's up at the watch. I'd never see him.
I mean, we have a little Lannister right here on my lap.
That's true.
Yeah. Maybe not. He's like, what did you call me?
He's like, I'm red. I'm a Tully. Leave me alone.
I eat the fish.
I don't.
He does love fish.
I am definitely not a Tully. I know that. I'm not a Tully. I'm not a fucking Bolton. At least I don't think so, anyway. I'm not a Frey. Don't you dare call me a Frey.
I was gonna say, maybe a Baratheon Storm's End. Do
identify a lot with Stannis. I feel like when I read the chapters, one of the characters I really do identify a lot with is Stannis. I feel him in my bones. No, I'm not a Frey. No one in this house is a Frey.
No.
Jackson, you're not a Frey. We wouldn't do that to you. Never call you a Frey.
He's just doing that little twitch with his leg.
Maybe a Tully, though.
Maybe a Tully.
Maybe a Tully.
The blackfish.
The goldfish.
No, you're definitely a Targaryen. There you go. We don't know where you belong because you belong in Valyria.
Maybe that's my problem. My homeland has been destroyed, and I am a Targaryen alone in the world. And that is a dangerous thing. Maybe that's the problem.
I would love for them to do a series where they show like the fall of Valyria.
That'd be so great.
Where you get to see like
What
Valyria and like the build up to what led to the fall.
To the doom?
Yeah.
Oh, that'd be awesome. Dan, you were agreeing with Bear Island. Now you're saying I'm a Targaryen. I don't know if you know what you're talking about, sir.
Bear Island's pretty accurate. You always talk about how hot Jorah is. You can marry him. Move right in.
Jorah was fucking hot on the show. He really was. I was ride or die for Jorah on the show. I was literally sitting there going, dude, if I was Dany, this would be a no fucking brainer. 5 minutes, succession problem solved. No questions asked. Easy as pie. Yeah, we had a lot of rain here. I'm not looking forward to how much it's going to rain between now and when I have to clean up poop at the park.
It's going to be awful.
It's going to be very mucky and poo-poo.
Yeah, we weren't even sure if we were going to be able to stream tonight because it was just like a lightning storm the entire time we were watching the episode.
Yeah, it was pretty rough while we were watching the episode.
We got lucky though.
We did.
On that note though, I am very tired.
Yeah, and I got nothing else. We haven't even been talking about the episode for like the last 20 minutes. We've just been bullshitting. But again, I'm just going to say, great episode. So much said in the dialogue. So much said in facial expressions. And just silent interactions with the characters. Another zinger for House of the Dragon. And I guess...
And much love for the actresses that played Rhaenyra and Alicent.
Absolutely.
Doing a fantastic job.
And then we will now have this to compare to Rings of Power, which we will be watching tomorrow.
Will I be joining in the burning of the reputation of the Lord of the Rings?
I hope so. I'm hoping for you to see the light of how bad that show is. And how good this one is. And how
I agree, this one is fantastically good.
Well, that one is fantastically good. And then you come off the high of dragons and Daemon's hotness and the character interactions. And then you watch Rings of Power and it's just like...
Look, I've been optimistic that they were going to, like, kick it off. They had, a few episodes to get all of their boring set building, world building stuff out of the way. They tried to do that. And...
It's a map! Oh!
They did their best.
No, they did not. No, they did not.
They tried their best. Okay, they tried. Okay, they'd. And now we have episode 4, where hopefully things get better.
We'll see tomorrow. I have no faith.
I am spoilers.
I am ride or die for House of the Dragon and firmly believing that Rings of Power... But we'll see tomorrow.
They created something. Good or bad, I guess we'll find out.
I can't argue that.
All right. Have a good night. We'll
Yes.
see you tomorrow.
We will see you tomorrow.
Jeez, Jackson.
That was. Oh, dear me.